idea about if you're supposed to go to the lunch or not. I imagine you are, because it's for all of the rooms, as far as I know. But she came the other day and asked for names.
Here's the microphone.
Okay. You got it all turned on.
It's all powered on.
Yes.
So the tape's ready to go back and everything. Start rolling with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me just ask you to the lady because I don't think I
Okay.
Okay, y'all have to go to Oak.
Debbie, I have a question.
I'm Debbie.
You don't have anything else until the lunch. Yeah.
Yes, there are, but you have to be very careful. Colleagues, professors, updating the books. It's the same book, different editions. So you have to make sure that if you buy a used book, it's the same edition. It's the one that the professor is going to use. Yes, they do have used books in the bookstore. I would be wary about trusting anything else, but otherwise, you have to have the exact book. Okay, so just check the edition. Make sure. Professor says 4th edition, don't buy the 3rd edition because it will be different. This is what textbooks do. They add a chapter, subtract a chapter, and add $20 to the price.
Does anybody need for textbooks? I'm a little older, but
And everybody, I just talked to the registrar's office. If you get an email from one of your professors that your course syllabus has been posted, you need to go to Oak.
okay.
Okay, and that's where it is, Bethany.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to sign in, and you will find the syllabi that are posted. Okay? All right.
All right, the camera sticks ready to go once we get them in the
All right, we'll cross our fingers and see. Are you going to be back to do that, or do you want me to just write it?
No, yeah, I know, I can do that.
Because I can write it.
I put it on the,
So you'll be
Yeah,
able to? It's not a problem?
So do you want them to see that right now?
Do they have their copies? Do you have those copies? Because I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys need to get in the groups that you were in yesterday. And this is the form that you're going to be filling out. I'm going to give one for each person, but somebody in your group is going to tell us what you decided, what decision you came to, and we'll post it, and you can also defend why you chose what you did. So each person should take one of these blank forms where you can write down the decision that your group comes to. We told you it's going to be on YouTube, and so what I'm going to do is, after you're in your groups, first I'll just take some shots of the whole group, then I'll come around to different groups and I'll give you the microphone, and that means that your voice is going to be much clearer on the video, and I will focus the camera on your group. So I'll be moving it around so that everybody gets some time where we can hear you and see you.
All right, everybody got this? Are you close to your groups? Are you sitting with the people that you were sitting with yesterday? All right, everybody move.
And Bethany, you can see which group you're supposed to be on. You see your name on that group. Okay. And Kevin, too, is not there, but Kevin will be.
in order to reduce background noise, when Linda gives you the microphone, everybody else needs to just keep a low level of talking, not whisper, you don't have to whisper, but just so that the microphone will pick up the group that is being recorded at that moment, focused on, because everybody's being recorded, but we would like to hear individual groups. Okay? All right, are you together with your team? All right, yesterday we were talking about what Janet Thorne and her team are going to do. Everybody is in disagreement, meaning her advisors, and she has what she calls a cabinet. These are people that tell her what she should do. And there are 5 scenarios here, and you are going to choose by scenario which choice you think is the best one and which one is the worst one. All right? Now, what you're going to do when you get this, don't turn pages, don't flip through. We're going to do one at a time. Don't look at the rest. Okay? All right, here we go. Papers in the back. Start passing them down, please. Pass them down. All right. You can use your other handout, that's fine, but this is the one that you are going to work with today. All right, and pass that down to the end. Everybody has to have one of these. Does everybody have?
Finished.
Yeah, but if my parents make you remember how did it come today? I think that this is fine. Everybody knows got the keys. I know it's really good. Oh, yeah.
The one. Have you finished reading?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, choose. I will choose E.
Only one
The
choice.
6th.
Which is A or B, E?
A or what?
A or E?
A or E. And C. What's your choice? What is your choice?
My choice is B.
B.
Yeah, public education.
Okay.
So you agree?
We have one in common, right?
Yeah.
What?
We have one in common.
You choose.
E, we have one.
A or E?
He choose A or E, and I
You
choose
have two
E.
choices. But I
can
have.
decide which is
But I
better.
have B, C, E. I can choose C.
How about 5?
I think.
Okay, I think we we can only choose one. Okay.
Yeah.
Each of us choose one, and then we discuss.
Okay.
You choose one. B, C,
You choose B.
Choose B. Okay.
That's the first reading and the second
A or E.
what do you say is the point?
Okay, I go for E.
Okay, we are the same. So you said why you choose B. Okay.
You are still the same. You choose E.
E.
And E.
Agree that solution will be the best solution. So, what do you think, Daisy? Really, why?
Policy change.
Yes.
And as far as I see, the EU government needs this contract to satisfactory their needs for electricity. That means their people
But,
electricity. So government needs to support this project.
But you must see the big picture of the globalization. That it's the time to come into the middle of the 1990s. That you can like North Korea to close your country and do something like that. Especially you have on the first material you reform the law in the 1991 Electronic Act. The law in India allows the foreign company to get inside. So you cannot say that you change the political party and then you cannot fulfill your responsibility to the contract. You sign a contract, you should do that. If you do not do that, I will bring the case to the arbitration, and you will obtain many bad consequences. So even you change a political party, the contract is the contract. And I don't think that build a power plant in this city in the province of Maharashtra will be a bad thing for the Indian people. So I really don't agree. I think we should sign it now and do this because and I trust the democratics in India, right? Even change.
You already ongoing project. They made good negotiation deal. Yes, so you start over. First, and the worst and next worst is I think B.
Yeah, it's really lame.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be any impact in a way.
For me, ECABD. For me, my option is ECABD.
Mine is
Do we have? I think we have to compromise. A, C, okay.
But you don't make it better.
Waiting for 1 year is
A, C, D. Okay, so D is the one that we use. What about
I think the problem is finding the doesn't mention about how to live
but the problem is that wait 1 week.
I think next week, just see and just signing next week. Others, they are reading options.
But I don't know finding minority
Minority partner, I think it's a very lucrative business. Probably any Indian company will join. And I think it's better also because not only because it's easier to emerge into Indian market, but also you don't probably escape other further problems if there are any. Second word is B. Between A and C. No, I think it's really better because next year we're gonna know. We don't know if the opposition party wins. We already paid too much money on this project, so 1 year after we don't know what will happen.
It's not necessary
just for the fact that we do that.
we have to explain how
First, I think first reason is, as I said, is the Indian partner will know better about Indian environment, political situation, everything. They can expect what will happen in the future. And secondly, any Indian companies will willingly join this project because it's very lucrative. So it's third reason is even though signing this contract, nobody can know what will happen next, and they can play a role of like as you said, the public education campaign role, and we have to looking for a company which have a reputation, good reputation in the market. Yeah. Three reasons.
The camera is off, but I'm putting this here for the next time.
Okay.
What? Why are we? Why do
We need to prepare to attack the other option.
Yeah. Okay. So why is D the worst?
You guys, I'm gonna ask you what your best and worst were.
Okay.
You still haven't decided. Letters, the best and then the worst. These the worst. Mitsu, are you guys ready? Hey, Mitsu.
Team me too. Me too. Ready?
Are you ready?
Yeah. Best at E.
E.
And the worst is C.
Thank you. And Kasaya? A and C. Okay. And sorry.
E for the best. E is the best, and B is the worst. D. Like dog. Yeah.
Well, we too think the E, yes, the E is the best one. Sandro think C is the best one. Yeah. The worst one we have an agreement that B is the worst one. It's the worst one.
Anirban, Lay, Kathy, is he best
Best, to our opinion, is E.
and worst?
Worst is where we have slight doubts, but most of us are agreeing to C. But I have,
Not yet.
Of course, for you, he is the best.
So our book thinks the best one is C and the worst one is D. Yes.
Okay. And Roberta?
A and B.
D is dog? Or B
A
is
and
boy?
B?
No, T and
D.
dog.
A and D.
Okay.
Yep.
Next. Leo?
Best one is E. Echo.
Oh, yeah.
E echo? Or
Echo,
echo?
And worst one is Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank you, pilot.
Yes. Aviation code, very good. All right, now you get to defend yourselves. So let's start at the bottom. Leo, Hayato, and Lucia, why did you make your choices?
Oh yeah. Thanks.
Specifics, all right? And be specific. You said be mounted public education campaign before signing. All right, why do you think that that is? Oh, you went, I'm sorry, you're going to E?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, find a minority partner. Why do you think that's the best?
We think it can eliminate the domestic doubts on this program, which is considered to be held behind a closed door. And if this local partner, a minority party, can make sure that some profits of this program can be given back to the local society, then I think the opposing voice will be diminished.
Thank you. Now, what about the worst choice? Hayato or Lucia?
And the worst choice is C because of it's too risky, you know.
Lucia, can you add something to that?
I agree with him.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. All right, are we passing the microphone?
Yeah, you can
Pass the microphone over here, please. To Roberto. And Annie. All right, so our first choice is A. Why?
We chose A. We just think it's like the safest alternative. There's nothing to lose in that. So if you just wait, you might get a
a very good favorable opinion both from the government and the people. And if you don't wait, the chances of losing the project are so big. It says in other alternatives that the fact that other company might win the project is very low, so you still know that you are the highest competitor in the race. So you know you've been talking to the state government, you know you have it. So if you wait a little bit more time, you're sure you will still have it, and it's safe in every sense. Even if you don't get it, well, you still are not going to lose any more money than what you just wasted during the research. So we just think it's a safe alternative.
Okay. And what about the worst choice? Jay, Annie?
We think the dog is the worst because if we propose a competitive bidding process now, I think it will need a long time to negotiate, and there is more uncertain factors will be involved, such as political issues. So we think that this is the worst.
Actually, I did not agree with both of them. But as a matter of time, I have to. So, yeah.
All right, so
Good.
you voiced your opposition. So next round, you get the first try. And
Yeah.
the choices.
Yeah, what I want to both of them. Good luck.
Okay. All right. You pass the
Our first choice is A, because we should not take too little or political dangerously. Yeah, political. Yeah, the government may overturn the contracts, or yeah, as Robert said, that this measure, at this measure, we lose nothing before that.
Your choice for worst? Actually, I disagree with the choice. You disagreed with the choice. All right, so we did not get consensus from two groups. All right, go ahead.
Actually, we choose C to be the worst choice because it will be too hot-headed if we just sign the contract now. And there's a lot of problems are unsaid, so maybe we should just take some time to consider it for a long time. No, not a long time. For some time, so we can make a better choice. So we hope that C is the worst choice.
All right, did you pass the microphone over to
Our best choice is E, and the reason is our goal for this negotiation was profit maximization and risk minimization, and we found this supported by four basically points: timely signing of the contract, capturing early emerging potential market in India, maintain relationship with the Indian government, and take account of local situation. So all these four can be satisfied on the overarching goal of profit maximization and risk minimization if we have this alternative. And I just added one more to this, that this alternative will be even better if we have E and B together. And that will add two more points. One is increasing public support and accountability through education, and appreciation of the press and local media.
We just choose the C as the worst because we think it's very risky decision because there are so many disadvantages because Indian politics is very unpredictable because the Congress election will held in the next year, and there are many unstable situation can be expected. And the second reason is there are too many factors about sorry. Yeah, just about political reasons. And as for Ben talking about the second one, the public campaign, because he is from India, and he told us that there are many big public influence on the commercial activities. So we think B can be combined in the first name.
Who is talking about the next one, okay? Because we've got 8 groups to go through. So pass the microphone down to
we were not able to find a consensus to determine which was the best, but Kevin and I think that the best is letter E. And why? Because what you want to reach is to obtain profitability, and also the way how you want to obtain profitability is by having the lowest risk. In order to determine this, we think that with a joint venture with a local company, in this case will be an Indian partner which will have a minority on this business, is how you can explore and obtain the best results for the contract that we are going to be signing. No?
Worst choice?
Well, worst choice we choose B. Yeah, because we're wondering between B and D, but we think finally we choose B because B and we think both of the choice B and D are less effective, but we think to do a public education it's useless and costly, and we can save the money to do the publication. We can save the money to push up the project and do other useful things. But public education campaign to the local people, we don't think it will do any help to the project, to the finish of the project, and to the success of the project. So I think that's it.
We think that the best solution will be solution C for 2 reasons. First, our group trusts the Scott decision and Scott's judgment about India politics. Because I think politics that is something that you should know and you should understand in the local. And the Scott has spent 50% of his time in India over the last 2 years. So I think he knew politics in India more than the advisors sitting in the office in the United States. So we first trust the Scott's judgment about the future politics movement of the India. And the second is we trust the democratics and the law system in India. If our cooperation sign a contract with the Indian government, we trust that the law will prevent any change or the risk in the future. So we think solution C is the best solution.
The last one would be to propose a competitive bidding process again, because it would be like starting everything from the scratch, because now we already really close to sign a contract and everything, and to have to bidding again, that would be such a waste of time.
Well, we think the best choice is E, because business is all about make money, but make money safely. So there are 2 unstable issues in this case. The first is the public. The public is very being very cautious about foreign investment, foreign capital, and our company is a foreign capital. We invest the local electricity, which is very important for the nation. So we let minority local electric company involved in this case, so that we have a better appearance. So we can let public people are just kind of simple, They just know we are a foreign company and we make money from them. As long as we have a local company, they just know, oh, this is a corporation. This is not kind of, foreign capital. And besides, another issue is about political risk. I think the opposite parties are not really against this project. They are against the government now. They just want to elect. They just want to win the election. So they are not really against this project. So as long as there is a local company involved, they have no reason to against it. So this is why we choose the E as our best choice.
Worst choice we choose is C because there's clearly political and social risks in this contract. So we should do something to reduce the risks. And the choice C is just sign the contract. This means we do nothing to reduce the risks. So that's why this is the worst choice for among the 5 choices.
Okay, so for best choice, we choose E, like many others, because we think that that is an option that would not delay too much the signing of the contract. Also, finding an Indian partner would give ENCO a better knowledge of Indian politics, the environment, and everything. So it might help make the project easier. Also, it won't be too hard, we think, to find an Indian partner because it's a really lucrative project. So I think many groups and many companies would be part of it, would want to be part of it. And lastly, we think that with E we can reach the same results as with B, but in a better way because it will educate the public and it will show that there's an Indian input in the project.
We think that D is the worst choice because ENCO already spent a lot of money and time, and agreement is almost finalized. So it's too late to propose a binding bidding process at this time. And in addition, D states that the proposal bidding process, which ENCO is sure to win, but it's too risky to propose such a process, particularly in future. If such fact is revealed to the people, it's a point to attacked by the counterparty or opposite party. So it's too risky to process such a unreal bidding process. So we think that most worst is D.
part of the advising committee. All right? Now, what's going to happen here is that you are going to make some choices about what ENCO should do in the face of increasing political disturbance. All right? So, read quickly. And this next round, we are going to have 4 groups report only, and for the third one, we will have the other 4 so that we can move along. Limit your answers to 2 to 3 sentences if you can. Put in your responses in a nutshell. All right? So, clock is ticking, start reading. When you're finished, start negotiating.
We think that which one? Oppose 就是反对的，我上面help. That is what I mean help. Encourage. Help. Okay, I see. So, what's your choice? The best one? Yeah, yes. And the worst one is C. This is first three second choice. B? Yeah. One. Okay, I did you already signed the don't expect okay, choose one. Choose one and then we okay, I think this way.
Any political moves by
But I already received a comment. I think it's not, shall not be involved in politics. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, see you right. That's better than safe. The legal action part.
I think C is better than E because at least it says the BJP is more likely to win the campaign. So BJP.
It's just like you choose the winning party.
Yeah.
The party you're dealing with.
You maybe.
Like group this one to be look like somehow big.
But C is like, oh, you're winning, so I'm on your side. But the Congress party is winning, I'm on the side.
But at least it's much more. It's much more better for the company. I don't care.
Raise the chance of winning of Congress party significantly. Significantly. But of course, back support.
But by money.
Yeah. So it looks to me, it seems to me that the E is less critical.
Okay, let's vote. Actually, you'll see. Yeah. So. Okay, which one?
You see?
Okay. C. Okay. C.
Oh yeah. Why?
B. Which do you think is best? Yeah.
I think D is the best.
D. Why?
Because I think the biggest concern is that foreign enterprises will suck up the economy of India by renegotiating the terms. The purpose of these renegotiations to meet some of the projections made by the opposing parties, which by renegotiating some of the terms, I think they might reach some compromises.
Negotiation is just a time consuming. It will take time to reach an agreement. Essentially, you have to consider the time. You have to renegotiate. Yeah.
What's your choice?
Because it's best to start off from political.
This is what we're going to do for the second scenario. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right. I am going to ask for your choices. I'm going to record them. And then we are going to have the first 4 groups on the chart give their best and worst arguments, and I will ask another team to rebut if you didn't get the same, if you didn't pick the same choice. All right? So everybody's not going to get the microphone this time for the discussion, but you will be asked to rebut. Okay? All right.
So what about your group, Alan?
The best is E, and the worst is
B.
EB.
okay. So I'll do the talk, and you do the worst talk. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
For us, the best one is C. The worst one is E.
E as in echo?
E? E, yeah, echo.
Okay, okay.
哎，让步怎么说？
We are split. Completely split, but two of us agree A and E as best and worst, and the other two are against. He agrees B as best and A as worst.
We agreed E is the best, and we choose the what? We choose the
E or B?
We choose the C as the worst. Yes.
Oh,
E. It's E. We think E is the best.
E is the best, and the C.
Okay.
D is the best. And we can split with our words C/D.
Okay. Leo, Ayatollah Lucia?
I think the C is the worst.
C is the worst.
We
Okay.
kind of split for the best
All right. Then, let's see, we need microphone for me too.
Okay, and if you guys, when you're not using your computers, would you hold your screens down, because I'm getting a lot of pictures of screens.
Close your laptop down, please. Okay.
Wow.
Why did you choose E?
Okay, first, I think the first step the company made is wrong, right? So we are on that road. We cannot turn our back, and I think there's no necessary for us to negotiate anything with the opposite party. As I said, the opposite party is not against us, they are against the Congress party. They just want to win the election. So what we need to do is to work our best to help the Congress party to win the election so that we can survive. This is kind of a gambling. We are nothing. So we must show our hand on the table. We must do our best to win the election. This is not about the project. This is about the election. So that's our choice.
Thank you. Now, can we do the microphone or all right. Now, I would like to ask, since you, Alan's group, chose E, I would like Anirban, Lay Kathy, because you were kind of split about this, but you chose A, some of you. All right. Why did you choose A as the better one? Rebut. Rebut that.
Because of our colonial past, whenever it's a foreign company, we look at it with some skepticism. So any party which, actively supporting that government in their election campaign means that we are kind of, doing our, blocking all our roads of maneuvering with the opposition at some point of time. That's why I think that this is not at all a, probable situation. We are not involved in any political activity. We are investors and we want profit. And the Congress, we have not negotiated it with as a party, but as a government. So a government and a party is different. Now, we have no opposition with BJP. BJP has also no opposition with us. It's their political perspective. Let them decide. Why should we get into that political war game? That's why I think E is the worst. No question of supporting Congress party. And A is best because A, we progress with our scheduled work, and B is we can always seek legal protection because we are under a contract. And judicial system in India is absolutely independent from the executive. So I'm fully aware of it, and I'm fully appreciate that the courts will give us remedy if we require it. Maybe it is 20 years after.
Thank you. All right. Now, can you pass the microphone down to Pastor Could you tell us why your team chose B as the best?
Because there are some public concerns that have not been addressed by ENCO yet. So we figure that if ENCO clarified those concerns with the public, then things might calm down. And the worst is D, which I disagreed with. So I'm going to pass it on to.
Okay, we'll do the disagrees in a minute. All right, so you chose B as your best choice. All right, for what you were saying. Now, pass the microphone over to Roberto's group because you chose D. So, can you rebut? Why is D better than B?
Yes, we're talking about politics, and this is a political game. So, at the end, D, you don't lose anything, and you might get something out of it. It says you're offering to renegotiate some of the terms of PPA. It doesn't mean that you're going to do it. You're just offering as an image during the political campaign. So you offer to renegotiate, you boost up your image, you may help the Congress party win because it boosts up their image, and at the end, you don't really have to renegotiate. You have the terms, the Congress party wins, and you go back to how it was before. So it's all down to politics. You're offering to renegotiate, you're boosting your image, and you win.
Thank you. Sandro, Kevin, and Pepe, would you like to rebut, please? And pass the mic up there. All right, now, this group chose and your group chose C.
Yes, for us, C is the best solution because our project is only a pretext used by the BJP in order to make his demagogical politics. So if we concede to discuss our project and the validity of our project for the Indian people, they will get confused and they will not know how to reply to us. While for us the worst solution is to renegotiate the agreement, because we got very good condition, and it is completely needless to renegotiate this condition with a party that is very alike to lose the next elections.
Pass the microphone now. Thank you to
Yeah, our choice is A is the best option, because actually A and B is similar, because it's a state out of political process and just to carry on the project. But A is better than B because you know, it's a very lucrative business, and probably if we reveal some confidential information to public, or if we try to make them acknowledge the necessary of this project, probably the public getting more angry. That's the possibility. So it's just to carry on the project, and we can wait until the result of the election, and then we make choice, and then you know we can take some time, and the police reestablished, and the construction anyway it's resumed, and probably until the construction done, there's probably police protect our site, and there will be no problem. And as Ban mentioned, business is business. If we just want to take action about political action, probably in the future the situation will getting worse. There's some bad possibilities, so we just going for A.
And our group thinks the E is the best choice because because the election is all about money. According to the statistics, so in America, there are 5 straight elections. The winner who out of the election campaign takes who has got the largest amount of money investment into the campaign wins. So the Obama. So I think that because the India is a democratic country, so there has to be a lot of propaganda, has to be a lot of media coverage. That all takes a lot of money. So we think if we use a loophole, that is avoid the bottom line of the legal area, I think we could increase our chance to support the Congress Party and to support our project.
We think B is the best. First of all, just as Kwon said, business is business, so B must be better than C, D, and E. And then B is better than A, because you can just you can just do nothing. So you should to explain. You should respond to the public. So you should explain something to them, and maybe they will get a better image from the company.
Right. What was your worst choice? Or choice for worst?
C and E. Yeah.
C and E, you were kind of dabbling. Which one was the dominant one?
I think E.
Okay. All right. Why was E the worst choice?
The research said we think ENCO is just doing a business, so it should not be involved in the politics. You know, their involvement in politics would be the start to corruption.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. All right. Now you talked about E, and there were almost all E's included, even when there was disagreement about which one was the worst. But Mitsu, Atlin, and Xin chose B as the worst. You were the only ones. All right, so I'd like to hear from Xin. That microphone down there. All right, Xin, what's your reason for B was?
As Lucia said, business is business, but businessman has to consider the political elements, because the political can have impact on business, on your money. And as far as I'm concerned, this case is kind of political issue more than business. In India, I think the public are getting information from the politician, the election party. And actually, I think the election party encouraging and organizing the protest against the eco company. This plan, just like the first one, public education, of course it can do a little improvement of eco company's image, but it can't change the decision of the political election. So that's my reason.
Yes, go ahead.
Debate about that it's a kind of all or nothing game, like that. But the thing is, business is business. But I think so we ignore the politician, because if we just support any party, probably if that party lose the election, probably you can lose your money, every money, even though you already spent millions of dollars, and you just get nothing after the elections. But if we ignore the situation now, and then we can take any actions after the election or something, because we have some time. We can take some time after the construction done, election done. So I think a war or nothing theory is just too risky.
All right, moving on. Turn the page. Okay, so now look what happened. All right, now read along with me, because listening and reading at the same time goes faster. All right, you can still read. Janet decided not to interfere in any way with the elections in Maharashtra. ENCO maintained a low profile and did not engage in any public debate about the project, leaving this task to the Congress Party movement. Unfortunately, the Congress Party lost the election in Maharashtra. A new state government has just been formed by a coalition consisting of Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, and the Shiv Sena Party. Upon taking power, the new government declared its intention to review the Dabhol project, and it has appointed a review panel to make recommendations on the project. Once more, Janet calls a meeting of her cabinet to deal with the rapidly evolving situation. Once again, she receives conflicting advice. All right, read and decide.
Would you cover the worst?
No, especially the worst. I think we should wait. I don't know exactly what BJP will launch. Because the project, in fact, it is very important to India. So I don't think BJP really is against that.
Just go make your case and see what happens.
My worst is A.
Why B? Well, I think everything in B leads you to making the case. India needs money, the US is really pressuring. The pressure that you have to develop, and also if you already signed the PPA, their securities will be low. So, if the Indian government, central government, pressure the state government, they will lose money as well. They will have to guarantee
I think the main concern for the Indian public is that if the U.S. company domain in such important factor economics such as electric. Yeah, but BJP is a new elected, so he must be very careful about public
public will say yes to the project. So they will try to
if you get more political elements involved, it will become worse. If the US is a standout, they're very powerful force. Maybe the public rejection maybe.
Yeah, but I think right now you don't care about the public anymore. You care about your money and the business.
Such topic is very sensitive.
Why did you say E?
Yeah. Even though there is a certain risk to lose this project, I think the PPA is still alive, and the new government, new India state government, pushes the anchor to lose or step back. But we can, I think we should initially we should keep our position. We did not have anything illegal or anything unfair, so we should keep our position first. And then if we choose B or A or B, I think it's A. In case of A, it will upset. It will make the people or the new government upset regarding this project. And the B, I think B is acknowledgement of the people's thought about this project. This is a U.S. invasion into India. So I think, and then if you choose B, then the destination of this project will be decided by the both government, India and the U.S.
We have E as the best now.
Okay.
For example, take this measure and take this measure, and if they are they are meaningless, they can result as a last measure.
Oh, yeah.
As a last measure.
Yeah,
So yeah, not exclusive each other. So the first measure, okay, I think and the last.
This one is bad to send an emissary to conduct confidential discussions.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have to decide which one is the worst option.
I still think it's
the worst.
Which one do you think?
Yeah, I think B. Yeah, six. B. B or yeah, B. Yeah, B.
Then just put in B and E.
B and E.
Why? The best.
Why is it get something
So what's the reason?
Just now.
Okay, and I think nothing too much political, because I think still between a company and the government. And yeah, it's better than do nothing, because the situation is getting worse. It's better to start and negotiate with the government, but yeah, given these 5 choices, we still need to choose the best one.
Because I think the next situation is a result of the you said
I think the next page
PPA here, so it must be a result of
you're not supposed to attend to it.
Yeah, I can see this.
Alan and me too. Your choices, please. E and A.
Come on.
Melissa, can you teach Kataya? B is the best. A is the best. A is the best. A is the best. B and E are the worst. Okay. Juan, Ichiro, and Jeremy?
B is the best. And A.
All right. Sandro, Kevin, Pepe?
B.
What's that?
What's going on? B, C, and B are the
We're gonna have to do something with that right now. All right. What's your word?
E is the worst.
A and E? The rest of E?
Echo.
E is the word.
At least we have consensus in that.
All right. Isumi, Kathy, Lei, and Irvan.
Okay, we didn't come conference. So C for me, for us A is the worst, but for me C is the best, and the others are different.
And two of us think B is best. Other two think C is best.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but the worst would be A.
Okay, you agree on
Everybody
that?
agrees on A. Yeah.
All right. That's good. All right. Daisy, Natalie, Tom?
B the best, A the worst.
Thank you. All right. J and Roberto?
E and H.
E and A. All right. Hayato, Lucia, Leo?
I think C and A.
C and A. All right. Now, we've got a lot of different answers here, don't we? And even some internal dissent. And so now what you are going to do is you are going to get together in 4 groups with these same answers for this item. You're going to see if you can come to a consensus and no dissent. You need to come to consensus. So, Mitsu, Tang, Ichiro, Sandro. These groups are going to work together. Work together. All of you. No. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we have no problem. It's the worst one, right? Okay. Okay. So. Minority.
No, all of us agree that A is the worst. It's
A is not the best. What is your choice of the worst one? Why? Worst. Point.
No, are we talking about the worst or best?
Which one? We're doing the worst one. Yeah. Gonna change their mind to A.
Eat just wait and see. Yeah, we wait and see what's the response. What's the government response? We wait and see. We don't need to hurry. They just make a recommendation. Right? They didn't
What about you?
actual actions.
The US companies and the foreign
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will cause a bigger defiance of the Indian public. It will cause a bigger defiance in Indian people. Yeah, because you're using the power of the US to suppressing the Indian government. So, A is the worst.
Yeah, it's too early.
The worst.
Why?
Is that yours?
The government cannot take.
I don't think
I think the new government won't accept the old terms because they denied the old terms before.
Age refused of it.
We are choosing A. We are choosing A.
We also appear in the
A is the worst.
Who is
the worst?
A is the worst for everyone except you.
Yeah.
So we agree A is the worst.
I agree.
A is even worse than B. You publicly.
B is best.
B is the best.
How
We are not on
the worst Yeah.
We'll give our reasons. Yeah, A is the worst because first you go against the government.
Yes.
You already put in the government in the quota and you put in the government against you.
Yeah.
And then you are refusing to agree to that.
Yeah.
You put yourself in the quota, you put the government in the quota, and then you are getting a bad public image because you are not speaking for your cause.
But I think no end if you want to talk with the government. First, it's unstable of this Indian government. Sometimes because they are maybe at first they are minority, and maybe several years later, 7 years, it's 20 years. So I think it's unwise to interfere in the political issues.
I have a different reason for supporting you.
Are we still talking about the worst one?
Worst is decided A. Right? All of us have decided A is the worst. So they have
We will be
Yeah, well,
The best one?
I wonder why you say A is the worst. Yeah, I think the opposing government, the now ruling government, will not oppose previous contract, but we should insist that existing contract.
That's not realistic against the government. We can do that.
Yeah, I understand that. For first, we should insist the right, and then we should resort to other.
So you are directly going to conflict with the government, and B, you are believing in an enforcement mechanism of court, which is always better to avoid. So that's why A, I believe, is worse. If you select A, the possible consequences are one, you are direct conflict with the state government because you are going to oppose them on all that. And second, it's like refuse, under the PIA and its enforcement mechanism.
Everything against the government.
Enforcement mechanism. It means you have to go into a court battle. So you as a business entity will generally not like to go to the first option to the court. Maybe you will try to, again open up some space for maneuvering through negotiation and possible dialogue where you can resolve the matter. So that's why I think if you select A, you are leading to two consequences. One, direct conflict in every respect with the government, which you don't want. Because you are not into any politics. You avoided politics intervention last time because you didn't want to directly go into political battle with any person or any political party. Your relationship with the government, and B, legal battle is something which as a business entity we always try to avoid.
We don't know when
Absolutely, that's the last option. That's the last option. That's the last option. Why should we evaluate at the first option? Let's see how this new state government reacts to us. And secondly, why I come to the point why I select B, because you have to remember that we were invited to India to invest not by the state government but by the central government. So when there is a problem, we can always fall back on it. And Indian set up the central government, if you remember that the central government has very strong power. If you look at the background, the central government is very strong. So they have the fiscal control. And now you can always fall back with your own nation's government and this government to negotiate and put pressure. And after all, US is a powerful economy. I'm sure the government will have some chances of negotiating. So that's why I believe A is the worst and B.
Because they just win the election, people are on their side.
That's what has been considered. People believe that the US are like tigers and
Alright, 1 minute.
People don't believe in
You are not asking US government to directly intervene. See, you have to make up a point here that US government is stepping up and then bilateral dialogue with
the issues between the two countries. I think that would be good for our business.
I think if you look at C, the problem will be if you look at C, the problem will be it is again going back to the same possible game that you have played before. You've been victim of. It's like that time it was Congress, now you have BJP. So you again renegotiate in confidence, just set up. So you are getting back into the same muddy water.
Okay, come to your decision. Best one work. And it has to be unanimous.
Best one.
So we vote.
I would go for, I believe C is better than
I think C is better.
D and E. But my choice is A what, so that agrees. B I believe best, but I can pass down this C. If it is for the larger interest,
I could reduce to C.
So how many of you think D is the best?
C is how many?
How many of you think C is best?
I don't think so, but I could go down to C.
Yes. How many D? How many D? I'm not
I can go to C.
So by majority,
okay.
Let's go.
It's a C.
Yeah. You need to do
We are set for C also.
You reach it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are very fast in negotiation.
I think for
C.
Too early to take
C is the best, right?
Okay.
United States
And your word?
United States government English. This is the first reading.
We're speaking for worst time and we probably know.
Yeah, I think you're 2 points.
But I've been speaking for many years. Then somebody else.
Yeah, okay. Who else?
And what's the review?
Okay, what do we have?
B as the best.
And that's
And A as the worst.
All right.
With some exceptions.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the best? No qualifiers. All right, you need to choose a spokesman for best and worst. One is going to talk about best, the other is going to, actually you have agreement, so we'll talk about best. Okay, because you are in agreement over the worst one. All right, so both teams agreed that A, publicly reminding the government, the new government of ENCO's rights under this agreement. All right, why did you think that was the worst, just in general? Well, everybody pretty much agreed on that.
Because it's too strong as a position. It's directly confronting the elected government. It's just been elected and you're confronting them publicly. It's a huge mistake, I think. It's the worst. It's going to make the situation even worse than it is.
So you think this will antagonize
clearly,
the new government?
Yes.
All right, anybody else want to support that? Is it an antagonistic strategy to publicly confront a new government?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for yes. All right. Before we get into the next discussion about the best, because there was disagreement, everybody speak like Juan. Juan has a nice, big, powerful voice so that YouTube viewers will be able to hear you. All right. So, spokesperson for the group that chose C as the best. Who's going to speak to that?
Okay. Yeah, I think C is the best solution. I think C is the best solution for ENCO and the new government. There were several points. First, the new government opposite the project before the election, but I think it is a weapon to opposite the Congress party. So now the new government want to reach a new agreement with ENCO, but they won't the public know this action. So first, I think the ENCO company should do some action confidently. And also, there's another point: the new government can and want to negotiate with the projects, and they also want some profit from this project. This is a second element that the government want to be confident. And the third one, the ENCO company would like to keep the original contracts, but the old terms in the contract has been opposite by the new government, and the new government won't like the public know they accept the old terms. So I think it is good for the two parties to keep confident below the table to reach an agreement. So I think the best one choice is solution C.
Colleagues disagreed with you. You chose B. He was the spokesperson for that decision.
So who is the person?
Okay, so there was a huge discussion in the group about what to choose, but the majority agreed to choose B because it's a strong position. It means that ENCOM maintains a strong position and has a means of pressure on the new government. And what we liked about it is it's not a public confrontation because it's only involving the financial community, so it's not as confidential as C, but still a little more confidential because only the financial community will be aware, so the public won't be as informed. So it's a good way, and also it's a strong position because we think that the contracts and transactions have to be secured, and renegotiating after every new election is not safe, and it's not sending a good signal for the investors to come to India.
Now we go to the final thing we can do. All right, okay, good. The Maharashtra government cancels the PPA. At Janet's direction, ENCO appeared before the review panel to defend the contract but took no other action. 3 months later, the panel issued a report recommending cancellation of the contract. The principal grounds for this recommendation included lack of transparency in the process leading up to the project, absence of competitive bidding, unjustified relaxation of regulations by the previous government, and the use of fast-track procedures, and a high electricity tariff that is subject to continual escalation. The state government canceled the agreement, stating, "Our decision is firm. We do not wish to renegotiate." ENCO has now incurred in sunk costs in the Dabhol project of nearly $300 million. Janet convenes an emergency meeting of her cabinet to discuss the options. The following received significant support at the meeting. Now, what I want you to do is read the choices, think about it. You are going to come to, in the same groups that you were the last time, come up with consensus. And you've got about 15 minutes to do this. All right? Now, this is everybody in the group. Everybody in the group. You've got to come to one good choice, one bad choice.
Yeah. But I like yours.
What? These.
These, I like C2.
Yeah.
Oh, all together?
Yes.
trying to mediate. We are too many to.
Yeah, what do you think is the best?
So it's better.
Why Indian mediator? Third party mediator.
Best
Third country mediator will be better.
Which one best?
Initial arbitration is run immediately. ENCO has been fully cooperative throughout the affair. Now it is time to get job.
Because litigation is
but we are
already lost because if the mediator is partial, party cannot achieve. Why? I mean, the mediator could be most preferred by the
best.
The best.
So which one is the best? A. No, that's and that was the same.
How many days?
Because there are two ways. One way, to emulate the government goes
When one another Indian person is
first, there are two ways. To emulate the government goes to let them get up.
We hate India.
The second, to make the laws is
the case.
No, but arbitration is a neutral venue that is done there.
Why you choose an arbitrator?
And the rules are arbitration. So law is only Indian. And why I think B is the, let me clear this point, why I think B is the worst. Because if you find a suit in Indian court, instead of dispute resolution clause with the arbitration, they are going to force you back.
Why not D?
That's how the Indian law is.
D.
So you are bound to arbitrate before going to litigate. That's the law.
It's time to give up the renegotiation.
B is the worst. It's technical, but you can never file a
arbitration. Probably they will aware of their weak position because of the contract. Probably they will negotiate.
I think when they confirm that they will not negotiate, they can foresee that we will see for arbitration.
Okay, you are agree that decided that it is something which is against the public policy.
Even if they try to, why you don't think it will take like what, 10 years?
Arbitration?
No. The courting
regulation is not possible. The law is very clear. Because if you see at the dispute resolution clause, it states Indian law. And Indian law is very clear. If you have an arbitration clause in your contract, it is binding clause. Therefore, if there is arbitration clause, you cannot.
Anyway, why don't you try renegotiate? Actually, arbitration is lose-lose game. You know, if we go to arbitration, anyway, two parties have something go. So let's try to at the same time, initiate the arbitration party.
It's barred by jurisdiction. It's barred by jurisdiction.
Nothing to lose.
Let's find the bigger boss here. Just find the bigger boss here.
You're the boss.
The bigger boss, the central government maybe, the US government maybe.
Yeah, I don't think
so what's your
If you have that,
that's how the president of
I mean, if you can execute the arbitration.
So
that's what I meant. If they don't have to deal with you lose 3 steps here. 3 steps.
Because I'm leading absence of competitive value. Unjustified realization of
Let's go. That's what A. Who wants A? What? A, the best.
It's impossible to vote slight rates and complete option. It's impossible. It's impossible to find a majority among 5 different options.
Yes, what did you vote for? What did you vote for the best? First?
For me, the
best.
B.
That's right. Best.
I think bringing the Indian central government is a good idea, but the US government is not a good idea.
He has done it. He has 4. Alright, we have 4 in
What happens, like, for example, B? In any case, B. I want to take over D. Usually, you want to say, just a moment, say,
But that's the he has done he has elephants.
So I've become frustrated. Now I want position. I want to earn my money and we will come to mediation, then we'll be back.
Yeah, I think
Mediation is what?
Mediation is best.
Unless you are
Seriously. I think they have
Just to ask how.
Guys, I want finality.
But from how about it? But you'll get nothing resolved by it. You'll just get
we open
and you negotiate. You'll just get the United States. You cannot even go like these major. Probably they also can confront the United States government.
So I think mediation at least.
but we are already almost down here.
Yeah, they can negotiate.
If the mediation.
I think it's good. Yeah, it's good. I think.
But you can say
Yeah, from the founders, foremost steps, I also think that United States government is the last option. From the user
No, it's still
Okay, so we were using to do CME. The answer is
YouTube.
Vote for C over A.
Okay, let's go for who votes for C? What's in your court? Yeah, C. B. They deserve to lose their money.
Those were the two with the most people support.
Yeah, come sticking.
Is it who does have the most? Is it who that have the most support?
Majority opinion with dissent.
Yeah.
And I registered it immediately now.
So it's C and E. Now, you notify to both E.
You just rather democracy.
No, they were the two with the most points. C and D were the two with the highest.
Of course,
So we don't like minorities.
the minority doesn't have
Which one do you want?
We want A.
E? So you're E? Yeah. So you're deciding between E or C? So what's the
So you are the majority speaking for the minority.
So there are minority people that chose A and D. No one else chose A and D. So the ones that go to most votes were A. So now we have to choose between the two best. It's like a second round of votes. No. We did the first round of voting. We did the first round of voting. And the two that got the most votes were C.
Choose from C or yes vote.
Okay, let's take a first round of votes. Who says A is the worst? No one. B?
B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I think.
Okay, but let's register also now.
Yeah, B, 9. C? 0. 1. 2. D? 1. So now, second round, it's between B or C?
Second round.
No second one needed.
Yeah,
but you guys wanted to vote on all of the issues, so.
B.
Even if the D people change to.
What is your B? State your point.
So what he said, it's clear. Like, you just go back.
That's inside information.
You just go back.
Yeah, I know, but
there is no possibility for the American company to win the case against the government. So
I think
That's the point. I mean, you can't.
You go to Indian courts and
Simple logic.
why do you choose?
you don't want to do that like.
Why do you
Even I think like
I don't want to choose Indian court.
even
I think D is the
on a logical basis, you won't sue an Indian government in an Indian court. Like logically,
Yeah, that's why I want. Nah?
like in a logical sense speaking, you won't sue a government in the wrong courts. I think like other than the technical issues, it's also logical.
Why you think this is the
Because it just seems to be desperate. Because the government has said we don't want to renegotiate. Yeah, we want to negotiate.
Okay, so E and B?
It's like losers.
Initiate arbitration. Maybe there's still a very long process.
Okay, E and B, okay? That's the final vote, E and B.
E and B.
E and B.
Oh.
So everyone has the same?
Yeah.
Yours was E and B? And yours?
E and B.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
Go ahead.
Don't take it.
Go ahead.
I prefer A.
Well, you have to decide at some point. You know, there's always going to be some disagreement about particulars, but you did reach the same decision. So, Sandro.
This text is meant to check the culture of English.
Okay. All right.
We all agree that we need to fire Janet.
Yeah.
Keeps making the wrong decisions.
Mistakes after mistakes. Just to do.
Anybody else have something to offer about that? Sing out.
About Janet?
About anything.
I agree to A because I think we have enough negotiation, enough discussion, enough dialogue. Now it is time to become tough. And tough is taking legal action. And legal action, litigation is obviously not possible because there is a dispute resolution clause which states arbitration. And why should we try to, litigate against a government in the same country? So arbitration is the best alternative to me. Now it's time for arbitration.
Yeah, Kwan and me think that D is the best solution. Because, yeah, arbitration is the best one, and everyone said that, and we think it doesn't cost much to offer any renegotiation to the government, so we can simultaneously renegotiate with the government.
Okay, anybody else?
We
Kwan.
can never negotiate with the government or with anyone because Janet has always taken the decision of what to do without negotiating. So it's now time for her to listen us and to negotiate with the US government and the Indian government.
Okay, Kwan.
Actually, as Jeremy mentioned, the stupid management deserve to be sued by the Indian Supreme Court. So for me, it's kind of best option.
Okay, Sandro.
In my opinion, it's time to engage. I tried to save the agreement because it was best condition. But now, we cannot enforce anymore the agreement, we have got to mediate. And it doesn't matter if the mediator is Indian, because the mediator must be impartial for its own role. It's impossible for a mediator to be partial, on my opinion.
That is kind of the classic definition of mediation, somebody in the middle who does not have a stake in the action. All right, now just to put the frosting on the cake here, turn the page. Now, look what happens. ENCO goes to London for arbitration and claims $300 million for breach of contract, in addition to interest payments and project delay costs of over $250,000 per day. In response, the Maharashtra government filed a suit in the Bombay High Court, Mumbai now, challenging the validity of the arbitration in England. Meanwhile,
In the meanwhile, the United States government, through the Department of Energy, stated failure to honor the agreement between the project partners and the various Indian governments will not only jeopardize the Dabhol project, but also the other private power projects being proposed for international financing. The Indian press is divided on the wisdom of canceling the contract. The Maharashtra state government has now expressed a willingness to renegotiate the Dabhol project, but has said that renegotiations cannot take place in good faith in the face of legal proceedings. It has offered to drop its case in the Bombay High Court if ENCO abandons arbitration in London. A meeting between ENCO and representatives of the Maharashtra state government has been set for next week. Now, in a nutshell, very, very short, one sentence, what do you think? Should she drop the arbitration? Or should she do something else? Say your piece, one sentence.
Yes.
And then for me, tell the because. Yes, because.
Yes, because if they don't drop the arbitration, the Indian government will not cooperate about the new negotiations. So to show them our willingness to the renegotiation, so drop the arbitration. So.
Because arbitration is not much different from a trial. And we have to consider each other something. If the BJP drop off the groceries in the Haggis School, we should drop off the arbitration in London.
Okay. Anirban, short. Oh, okay, Jay, yes.
Before determining to drop the arbitration in London, we should make it clear that the state government shall drop the trial in the Bombay, and they should cancel the cancellation of the PPA. That's very important. If we drop the arbitration in London and the Indian state government cancels the trial in the Bombay, then the result is that the terminated PPA only. So we should make it clear.
No, we are not going to drop the arbitration because we believe that unless something materializes, there is no chance.
Okay. Anybody want to say something else? Okay? All right. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much for participating. All right. Do not go home yet. Debbie has a few things she needs to tell you about. Yes.
Okay.
About tomorrow.
Tomorrow, you guys, make sure you check the appointments. The first appointment is at 8 o'clock. You know how much trouble I have getting here at 9, so my God, bear with me. I'm coming bringing a giant cup of coffee. We're not recording, are we? Okay. All right, Kevin, Quan, Cheng, Alan, you guys are the first ones. 10 minutes is not very much time.
I wish you
But
had a pot of coffee with you.
yes. Okay. So basically, you guys, it will be fast, but one of the things you have to do on the wiki is a personal action plan. So how you plan to continue. We will, of course, have looked at things also. So if you go, especially for those of you who are new to using this, to course syllabus, everyone should have access now. If you don't, you need to let me know. And the personal action plan, if you click on it, will open. We want you guys to start taking a look at this. What do you think, where do you need to improve? How are you going to do it? How much time are you going to spend on it? That, of course, keeping in mind that you're going to be taking law courses. But language is part of the law. You cannot be a good attorney if you don't have a good command of the language. So you can't ignore language even though you're starting law school. You have to think about both. All right, that gives you a double burden. For the new participants only, those of you who have done the entire 4 weeks, don't do this. We need some more writing from the new people. That's why you have to do this, so we can give you better evaluations. You guys have to write a 1 to 2 page paper. It says memo format, but it can just be an essay, that's fine, on what you learned during the negotiation today. And you need, what would you do differently if you could do this again? And you need to email that to Nancy and Linda by 6 today. That gives you a few hours to do it, 1 to 2 pages. If you need to email it to them later, talk to them before you leave today. But only the new people, the old people don't have to do it. Okay? We have enough writing to be able to evaluate you. We don't have enough writing from the newer people, so we need you to do that. All right, everybody, write the second email that's at the very top of the page under assignments week 4, because that's an email that you may have to write. So the idea is to practice being polite. Everyone do the personal action plan. Print it, bring it out. Think about what, based upon our evaluations, your strengths and weaknesses are in terms of language. I'm on the last memo, so you guys can also look in terms of legally, in terms of writing a memo, where do you think you need, what do you need to work on? It's coming out that it appears to be application per norm and rule proof per norm, where you guys need to practice putting more information in. Okay, application section seems to be predominating this year. So, but you guys make sure you do that. Have a good evening. Okay, tomorrow is our last day. We won't meet together again, which is a shame, but we will see we will. We'll be at lunch with you guys. There's a noon, there's lunch, everyone is invited, so we'll see you guys then too, individually and together as a group. It has been a pleasure. Tomorrow you guys will be given, you'll be sent a link.
Yeah.
It will be on the wiki where you do a course evaluation. You're going to email the link. Right. Linda is going to email a link to everyone where you do a course evaluation.
And it's online. It will take you to Survey Monkey. It's anonymous. You fill it out, and then at ELC they will compile the results. And as Debbie said, we never see evaluations until way after the fact.
Right. So you guys, the point of evaluations is to say what worked, what didn't work, ways that the course should be improved, things that you really enjoyed. So evaluations serve a valid purpose. Most teachers I know don't like them very much, but we also know that we learn from them, so we use them. Okay? So that's important, to spend the time to think about the evaluation and fill it out. We look forward to reading your comments. We will not know who said what. So you can say whatever you want to say. All right. So we will see you guys tomorrow, okay? New people only, write the 2-page memo thing.
This group, we talked with this group that we're gonna have dinner together tonight because Izumi and Sandra will be leaving at the end of this week. So we have tonight. Yeah, this evening. That's excited, and